Good afternoon. So I'll say a few words, the Ambassador will say a few words, and then we'll take a couple of questions. Today, the UK is convening the Security Council to discuss Myanmar. We will hear from UN Special Envoy Julie Bishop and from OCHA. 4 years ago this week, Myanmar's military overthrew Aung San Suu Kyi's democratically elected government. Since then, the regime has ruthlessly suppressed opposition voices, locked up thousands of political prisoners, and committed countless atrocities against civilians. In those 4 years, more than 6,000 Myanmar civilians have been killed. The military's violence shows no sign of abating. In total, the number of airstrikes is 25 times higher than it was in 2021, and includes attacks on civilians, schools, and medical facilities. Likewise, the use of improvised explosive devices, landmines, and shelling has been higher on average in the past year than any year since the coup. Last year, Myanmar had the highest number of people killed or injured by landmines and explosive remnants of war. We condemn these cowardly measures. They must end immediately. The current trajectory of this violence is not sustainable. The military regime must end it and engage in inclusive dialogue reflecting the will of the Myanmar people. This is an essential first step towards any peaceful democratic transition. Any elections without inclusive dialogue will likely increase violence. As the Secretary General said, we also need greater cooperation among all stakeholders to bring an end to the hostilities and to help the people of Myanmar forge a path towards this inclusive democratic transition. The time for Council action is overdue. The military must be held to account. 5 months ago, the UK circulated a draft resolution urging all parties to stop their violence against civilians, comply with their obligations under international humanitarian law, and stop the supply of weapons and fuel to the military. A small minority has prevented the Council from taking such action, but the suffering of the Myanmar people demands the Council acts now. The majority of the Council want to do this, and ASEAN themselves have called for strengthened cooperation with the UN. The UK continues to stand with the people of Myanmar. We have led international efforts to cut off the junta's access to weapons and jet fuel, imposing sanctions on 25 individuals and 33 businesses involved in such trade. With humanitarian need reaching unprecedented levels, the UK will continue to do its part. And I will now give the floor to Ambassador Kyaw. Ambassador.
Thank you. Thank you, Ambassador. Good afternoon. In 2 days, the illegal military coup in Myanmar will reach 4 years. Last 4 years, every day is misery for the people of Myanmar. Over 6,230 innocent civilians were brutally killed by the military junta. Over 3.5 million people are displaced. Almost 20 million people are in need of humanitarian assistance. Myanmar people are living with fear. No one feels safe and secure. Despite this dire situation, the perpetrating military junta continues committing various atrocities, heinous crimes, crimes against humanity, war crimes against the people. I myself and the people of Myanmar have loudly and persistently appealed to the international community, including UN, to help us, the helpless people of Myanmar. Of course, at first the people honestly thought that the UN can deliver its promises to them of maintaining peace and security, protecting people, saving lives. Eventually, their hopes and confidence on the UN, in particular the UN Security Council, were taken away by continued lack of effective actions. We have UN Security Council Resolution 2669 on Myanmar. It has not been implemented. In November last year, at this very place, I said that Myanmar people are very frustrated with the lack of effective actions from the international community, in particular the United Nations. I have to say it again, we all are very frustrated. However, the people of Myanmar are resolute to end this military dictatorship. The people are very determined to build a new Myanmar with a federal democratic union. With this determination, the National Unity Government of Myanmar has been working together with ethnic resistance forces and other resistance forces and individuals. Therefore, we need the UN and ASEAN to play a helpful role to find a sustainable solution to the crisis in Myanmar, in line with the will and interests of the people of Myanmar. Here, I wish to appeal again the UN and the international community to save lives and future of the people of Myanmar as follows. Reject the military junta's planned sham election. Stop flow of weapons to the military junta. Stop flow of jet fuel and dual-use items to the military junta. With this, I thank the Ambassador Kariuki and the UK delegation for proposing today's consultation on Myanmar, as well as their hard work. Time is running out for saving lives of people of Myanmar. Effective action of the UN Security Council is seriously needed now. I thank you.
Take a couple of questions.
Thank you, both of you, for the briefing. It's Pamela Call from U.S. News and World Report. The Secretary General today repeated what he has often said, that the time is not now for elections in Myanmar. What would it take to get to that time? And is there any chance that the Security Council would be on board for something like fair elections or monitors or anything? Thank you.
Thank you. I'm very clear that under the military junta, definitely there will be no free, fair, and inclusive election. That is why the people of Myanmar, we keep asking the international community. We reject the election. We asking the international community to reject the election, that there will be definitely sham election and then not free and fair election. So since the beginning, please reject the election that to be held by the military junta. Thank you.
And I would just say that from the point of view of the Security Council, of course, we should, when the conditions are right, we would support elections, but those conditions are clearly not right now, as you heard from the Ambassador and as you heard from the Secretary General.
Excuse me, what's the most important thing you think the Security Council can do today or in the next few days, soon rather, to make things better for you?
Thank you. As I mentioned in my remarks, we need effective action from the Security Council. We already have the UN Resolution 2669, but the question is effective implementations of that Resolution 2669. If there is no effective action, the resolution as it is not really helpful for the people of Myanmar. We keep asking the UN Security Council to help us to save people of Myanmar. So we need is strong action from the UN Security Council.
What do you see as the most important things necessary for it to be implemented? Say the top two
Yeah.
things.
Just mention, so we stop the flow, help to stop the flow of the weapons, help to stop the flow of jet fuel to the military junta. That is the two important elements for all of us. Thank you.
Let me just say a word, and then I must go at least. And the protection of civilians is absolutely fundamental. I mean, we were clear 2 years ago in 2669 what needed to happen. We had a resolution ready to go 5 months ago. It wasn't the right time then. We think the time is really approaching. The elements are there. So we're going to have a private meeting now to see where we can go with this. But thanks very much. If the ambassador wants to stay and take any more questions, it's up to you. But I think I should go to the council.
I just have two more questions.
Okay.
One could
Can I
be
give
for
it
you.
to you?
One could be for both of you. Both of them can be for you, Ambassador. Carrie Norton from Radio France Internationale. First question. We know that the situation in Yangon is way, way different than the situation outside of Yangon. Is Julie Bishop, has she managed to go outside of Yangon and really see the reality of the brutality of what's happening right now in Burma? That's the first question in Myanmar. First question. Second question, if the Security Council is being blocked by one member of the P5, and you've been very patient, it's been more than 4 years, and you said that you are very frustrated, are you willing to take your action to the General Assembly?
With the first questions, of course, the situations at the big cities and the out of the big cities are very, very different. But the people across Myanmar, whether living in the capital or whether living in the urban area or rural area, I think that we all are the same. No one's safe. That is why the situation inside Myanmar is very dire. So that is why we keep speaking aloud that we need help. So that is why it's come to the UN Security Council. So we definitely, the UN Security Council, if cannot move anywhere, of course we need to explore all the possible ways, including General Assembly, to move the Security Council ahead. That is from based on the humanity point of view. We need really seriously need the action from the Security Council to save life of the people of Myanmar. Thank you so much.